So, hello. We are going through our 80-day obsession. Um, just kind of pre-call to get everyone started. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be overwhelming, and it can be um, just like I said earlier, we all wanted all the details about food plans and all of that, and then we got them and we went, whoa, overload, right? So I want to try to simplify a few things for everybody and explain things as clearly as I can based on the information that I am getting. And I am going to put let's see, I think I can put everybody on mute, just so that I'll unmute you once we start doing questions. But for now, that way there's no background noise. But Robin, I didn't mute you, so feel free to jump in if you have anything to interject.
Okie dokie.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who trusted us to help you with this journey with your the last time that your resolution will be get healthy and fit, right? No more healthy and fit as resolution. Next year, our resolutions get to be take more vacations, add on to our house, shop for more clothes, whatever it is. Maybe become a Beachbody coach. So we all got this, right, with our packages. And I'm sure everybody opened it, but just real quick, I want to remind you guys, if you set it aside, that this does have your workout calendar in it. This will be hanging on the wall in my basement where I will be putting little pink check marks so as to keep track of my workouts. Then, of course, I think everybody's probably already looked at the program materials, and hopefully you have already done the calculator for your food plan. So I'm typing right now. I'm going into On Demand, which I will open in just a second. My internet is less than fast, so bear with me. But I am following Plan C. And some of you may be thinking that is a high plan, but that's because I am doing a maintenance amount of calories. So the way it works is that you have either the maintenance, or if you're trying to lose weight, what you do is you do eat in a calorie deficit, which is that calculation in the book. You know what I'm thinking? I think I'm going to unmute anybody, because as I go, if there's a question, I want you to go ahead and interrupt me and ask, because you may forget if I get too far. Okay. Can everyone hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So basically, for me to figure out what my calorie bracket is, I did the weight times 11 plus 600, and that was my calories. Whereas if you're working at a calorie deficit because you're wanting to lose actual weight, then you're going to subtract 750. So that becomes then your calorie deficit plan. Now, I will say this. The test group people that I have followed and that I have watched information on the food plan from have been mostly pretty clear that Plan A is very low in calories, and the longest I think anyone really followed it was the first phase. Most people went up from there. So my coach, Kim, who I don't know if anybody saw her test photos, she's like cut like a beast, and she follows Plan D. So she eats a boatload of food. And so like for me, working in Plan C, I practiced this week. And man, I was like, this is so much food. But it's been really interesting because I've been doing a little obsessed. I've been adding a little bit, like the other day I did 10-minute abs on top of that, using the Gina Messersmith theory, which is do it first. Do the short workout first, because then you'll still do the long one. If you do the long one first, you may talk yourself out of the short one, which I always do. So that works for me when I do those little ab videos first. So thank you, Gina, for that. It was rocket science. And so for me, this week, I've really been pushing hard on these workouts, and this Plan C seems to be working just fine for me, other than the fact that I keep forgetting I need to go eat. Because you are eating within 2 to 3 hours. Now, you guys know me, and that's not what I've been doing. So I'm going all in. I'm doing this for 80 days. I'm following it 100%. I'm going to see how it goes, how I feel, how my digestion is. And then after the 80 days, I will decide whether I want to stay doing that, go back to intermittent fasting for a little while, come back, whatever it is. I also believe our bodies like the change too. So one of the things I did want to make sure everyone understood is that if you're feeling really hungry, you're probably not fueling your body enough. Eat more food. And don't just eat whatever you want. Don't just add containers. Go up a bracket and add the containers that are in that bracket. So this plan, this food plan, whereas 21 Day Fix was pretty flexible in a lot of ways, this one is not. Autumn did a video the other day, and she was answering the question, can you move containers around? And her answer was a hard no. Because the reason it's set up the way it's set up is to spread out your macros throughout the day. So if you know anything about the macronutrient diet, it is what is used for people who bodybuild, for people who do physical fitness competitions. So it doesn't mean that you'll bulk up, because what the bodybuilders do is they follow a macronutrient diet, but they do many more servings. Like for my husband, if he followed the plan with bodybuilding, he'd be eating 10 carbs a day of protein. You know, that's what, if you are actually wanting to bulk up, that's what you're doing. So what this does, and the reason spreading the macronutrients out is important, is because it helps you get lean muscle. So it's helping you get down to the muscle, especially for those of you guys who have worked out for a while. That muscle's there. We just got to get to it. So, and that's obviously our goal. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Jennifer, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say is, even though you're not supposed to move the containers around, you can do the different options. Like you can decide, like if that one, like the way she has it written, you can do those options 1, 2, 3 and move them around.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to do the same containers that's in that option. So I just wanted everybody to know that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, because I did not get to that, and hopefully I wouldn't have forgotten it, but maybe. So basically, like if you look at, so I have here, and you guys hopefully can see, this is the meal planner page. If anyone has it with them, it's page 9. And basically this is your little, like what you can write on. Now I am going to get this laminated and get a fine tip dry erase, so that I can write on it each day and then erase it and write on it again, or leave it the same and follow it again, depending on what groceries I have. But if you look at this, where it says meal option 1, 2, and 3 down here, these are what Robin's talking about. You can move these around. Now, as far as your post-workout meal, that one has to stay the same. But your pre-workout meal, as we've talked a lot about, can be meal option 1 instead, and you can switch those two. And that basically means you can have your Shakeology. I know Laura Hanlon, she is getting up because she's one of those early morning people. And she said she gets up, has her Shakeology, has her Energize, and in about 15 minutes goes and works out. And she said she's doing perfectly fine with that. And in one of the videos I watched, Autumn Calabrese said, she said, you know, I eat and then I go work out immediately. She said, some people can do that. Some people can't. She said, I like to do that. So for me, I have a hiatal hernia. And if we have to turn upside down, I'm thinking it's not such a good idea for me to eat that close to my workout. So I will not do that. I will always wait at least 45 minutes. If I have a shake, and I'll probably wait an hour and a half if I eat. My plan is most of the time to eat because I go to work in the afternoons, so I want to be able to bring a shake and drink it on the way, and then bring a meal or two to work with me. I have found, let me see. So I thought I'd go through a sample day that I did last week, which isn't perfect, but it was, you know, definitely a lot easier than I expected it to be. I do highly recommend that everyone prep for this. You know, even if you just have a bunch of meat ready and you know, some quinoa ready and some salad ready, you know, things like that will make your life a lot easier. I did order, or I have, because I ordered them a while ago, the food portion containers, which I got off Amazon. You know, they have them anywhere from like 10 packs for $10 to 20 packs for $20. I mean, they're really inexpensive. If you are going to be trying to use a microwave, do make sure they're BPA free. And honestly, personally, if you're going to use a microwave, I would make sure you take it out of the container and put it on glass, but that's your choice. So what I did on this particular day was I did my meal option 1 at 8:30, which was my shake, which I had spinach and fruit and almond butter in. Of course, had my Energize. I did my workout, and then I had my my Recover and a half an apple. And then for my post-workout meal, I had 2 eggs, a piece of toast, some zucchini, and then I counted my grass-fed butter as a teaspoon. I'm not sure why. I haven't seen butter on anything, but anytime I use it, I'm using grass-fed, and I just count it as a teaspoon. And so basically what I'm doing in order to actually stick to that teaspoon, whereas, you know, with 21 Day Fix, I just go, okay, well, I'll just use 2 teaspoons, and I'll put a teaspoon on my bread and a teaspoon in my pan to make my eggs. Now I'm doing, you know, I'll put like a half a teaspoon in that pan, and then use the other half on my bread. I cook up my eggs, I take my eggs out, and then I throw the zucchini in, and just use whatever butter's left after the eggs. And if it's not enough, I'll throw in a little water and put a lid on and steam it. So I've figured out ways to work around that. Another thing you can do if you're cooking vegetables and say you're out of teaspoon, you can use broth. You know, just put a little bit of broth in there and cook them in the broth. You know, some sort of organic, you know, whether it's bone broth or vegetable broth or chicken broth, whatever it is. And so then I had, for meal option 1, 2, and 3, for meal option 1, I used the pre-workout meal because I did meal option 1 at the pre-workout meal. And I just did, you know, some red peppers, some ham in a wrap. I posted a picture of those wraps. They're really good. In a wrap. And then I counted I used a teaspoon of mayo in the wrap and counted that as my teaspoon. Again, I don't see that in there. And if I find out that that's wrong, I will let people know. But for now, it's the oil that the teaspoons are for. And, you know, mayonnaise is oil and egg. So
just FYI, she has a mayo recipe in Fixate. I found it today.
Oh, yeah. I've made homemade mayo, and it's really good. Has anyone else ever made homemade mayo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lee, I bet you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah. And it's really good. And so then for meal option 2, I did a salad. I did, a green of romaine lettuce, put chicken on it, had strawberries and avocado for my blue on it, and then had some quinoa with it. And then I didn't write down what I had for dinner that night, so I don't remember that one. But, that's just kind of what a day looks like. I think the boxes can look overwhelming, but I highly suggest everyone doing as simple and easy as possible. Do individual ingredients rather than trying to do recipes in the beginning. There are a few recipes in Beachbody On Demand and Fixate, but there are only 3 right now. So I'm assuming they'll be adding a lot more. Okay. So, we've got about 10 minutes left on this before it will cut me off. So I want to open it up to questions real quick before we do that. Make sure you realize there is a rest day, and the rest day is still 5 meals, but you can move them around anyway. So you don't have to there's not a workout block. So you just have 5 meal options, and you can move them around however you want during the day. As far as like refeed day and peak week and all of that, we'll go over that when we get closer to it. Refeed day is not for 6 weeks. So does anyone have any other questions? Robin, anything you want to add?
I was just going to say, for me, it's kind of weird, but I guess my mind just works kind of different sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I was having such a struggle trying to plan out my menus on the stupid thing that they give us, the menu planner, just because I don't know why. It was just hard for me to use that form. So I used the form on page 11, and I posted pictures of my form on our group, but it was easier for me to move times around there.
Got it.
And like make it work.
Yeah.
So if somebody's struggling with the menu, go to like one of the other forms. But she has like those examples of like, if you work out in the morning, use this. Right. Work out in the midday, use this one. So I of course use the evening one because I work out at night. And I was able to make something work when I was getting frustrated using the other form.
Well, and here's the other thing.
I was too.
You did too?
Oh, go ahead, Jen. Because this is Gina. Because, on the forms, they have the workout block at the top, and I need to have my stuff in sequential order. So I did mine in Excel so that I could have it in order with the times next to it. And I also and I did this because I did a test yesterday to make sure I could stay organized. I did what somebody had suggested with all the different alarms on the phone. And I was like exactly right yesterday. The one thing I did realize is my idea of how much fruit I'm supposed to have with the Recover. I was way under because I had like 2 kiwi. And then today I was doing my prep for the upcoming week. And it was 4 kiwi is 1 fruit.
Wow. That's a lot.
I know, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. Well, and then the other thing I wanted to say was make sure you guys search in Facebook 80-Day Obsession exclusive coach group. If you're in it, there are a lot of people posting spreadsheets with their whole food plans. So there are just, if you scroll through there, people are just laying it all out there. And I'm going to, try to at least screenshot some of them because usually they're PDF'd, and post them in the group when I can. But that was really, really helpful. And some people are really, really good at computers, which I am not.
On Etsy, they got 80-Day Obsession food sheets.
Oh, on what, Etsy?
On Etsy, they're selling them.
Wow. Oh, wow. You know what? People are so smart.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? Of course.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh my gosh. So, I'm over here with my little pad and pen, right? Trying to write it out, and I keep scribbling and going back and starting again, but so, I mean, and basically that's it. And I really think the main thing that as we get going, and tomorrow I'll be grocery shopping, and, I'll share what my prep is. Robin, when are you doing your prep?
Yeah, I'll probably do mine on Sunday, so that my vegetables are as fresh for the week as possible.
Yeah.
I like to cut mine up, for at least 3 days at a time. I find like if I cut them up for the whole week, they don't last as well.
Yeah.
So I cut up like 3 days worth at a time.
That's a good idea.
And then, I use containers too, to put that all in there. It's funny because I've made myself a couple different options because I'm really missing doing my shake in the morning. I really like doing my shake in the morning, but then, they wanted to eat quite a bit before you work out.
Right.
So I've kind of started, and I got some ideas, like you said, off of that group about how some people are eating, so that I'm going to try it both ways.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which way I'm going to stick to it yet.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the best place, because part of me, a couple times this week, I did my shake before my workout in the morning. And then I just finished 3-day refresh, which the first thing is shake. And so I kind of started liking having my shake in the morning. But then it's much easier for me to be able to bring that in the car and be able to drink that on my way to work. So I've got some finagling too. But I will say one of the things that I'm super excited about is I already in 1 week noticed that I was more organized in other areas of my life because I was being so organized on this food plan and workout plan. So I really think it's going to benefit me personally in many different ways. So I'm super excited about it. I did want to say that, make sure if you are in that test group that you do, when you go in there at the very top, click on the pinned post or click on search and search Autumn Calabrese. So that because really all the rest of it is noise other than her particular posts. And having said that, there's a lot of good stuff in the noise, right? So if you're just hanging out, you're sitting at a doctor's office, you'll never be at a doctor's office because you'll be drinking your Shakeology and you won't be there. But if you are sitting around and you have time to scroll that stuff, because there is some good stuff in there. Some of it is, like I said, just noise. But and then make sure you're checking into the 80-day VIP group, challenge group, the one that Robin set up. We'll be posting in the mornings, one post a morning that will be from Beachbody. So, that's going to be an important post to take a look at because they've designed it to guide you through the program. And then Robin and I will be posting, throughout the day. And we will pin that Beachbody post at the top so that you guys can find that. And then, and Faithfully Fierce, check in. There are still a lot of ladies in there who could use some support, and knowing that you're still around, they would appreciate that because everybody's not doing 80-day. I almost said 80-day fix, 80-day obsession. But ultimately, this for me is go all in, see what happens. No cheats, no changes. Just do. And there was a video in the test group today, and she said you are the example of what this program can do. So if you don't do what the program's designed to do, you won't be that example. So Robin, we're less than a minute. Final words.
I just want to wish everybody good luck with the first week. Let's really stay on top of the group, posting participate. And if you find something's not working, or, let's talk about it in the group to keep motivating each other, because it really does make a difference if everybody's participating.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Sorry.
No, I think we're going to have a great 80 days, and we're just getting through phase 1. Just think it's phase 1, as we're testing everything out, and we're going to get through it all together. So I'm excited.
One day at a time.
That's right.
One workout at a time. All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right,
Bye.
Thanks for getting on.